I went to a local PC shop recently. I wanted to buy an external hard drive. It's amazing how much technology has increased over the years. You can transfer a few gigs in a couple of seconds and store several terabytes of data for less than $100. On the other hand, data transfer from a book into your brain still takes a long time. There was allegedly this guy that had a private tech company, and most of his contracts were with the government. He developed a way to learn much, much faster. It was a combination of some common herbal drugs mixed together, some sounds to open up the brain, and some type of screen that would flash both images and pictures that would dump data directly into your long-term memory. The process would allow you to absorb an entire textbook and know it by heart within just a few minutes. With very little conscious effort, just turn on the machine and let the information be dumped directly into your brain. This would mean you could get an advanced degree in any subject in about a week. I've been seeing this strange homeless man downtown for a while. He looks at me, and I look at him, and I recognize that he's looking at me differently than all the other homeless people look at me. And I think he recognizes that I'm looking at him differently than I look at all the different other homeless people. He's got this look that I've never seen in any other human, homeless or not. It's like this combination of massive intensity but complete acceptance and relaxation. Finally, I got up the courage to start a conversation with this guy. I don't know what it was about him, but it was very, very uncomfortable. I felt very, very nervous. It kind of reminded me back when I was in college. There were some professors that were very easy to talk to, but other professors were very, very difficult to even approach. They had this kind of sense of intelligence in the way they looked at you. Even asking them a question, they would look at you like they thought you were just an idiot. The closer I got to this guy when I approached him to start a conversation, the more I looked into his eyes, the more I saw just a massive amount of intelligence, unlike anyone I had ever seen before. He said that he used to work for the NSA several decades ago, and him and some other people were working on some advanced learning techniques for soldiers and other agents. But then him and a few of the other guys started to build their own techniques. They started to develop a very, very incredible technique that would transfer written information directly into your brain without having to use any kind of tech or drugs. He didn't tell me what the specific technique was. He said it was very, very dangerous. But once he figured it out, he decided to quit the NSA. And for the next 2 years, he spent a lot of time at two of the largest university libraries in the United States, and he absorbed all of the information in those books into his brain. And in the decade after that, he used all that information to amass a huge fortune of several $billion. But then he told me that was a huge mistake. He said he only discovered too late that the prime directive of the human animal, the human mind-body system, is to continue to learn. That's why our brain is developed that way. We need to continue to learn, to continue to soak up information, to continue to study skills, to continue to improve skills. This is why we have our ceaseless human drive to learn more, to create more, to want more, to dream more, to develop more. And he absolutely short-circuited that process by learning how to data dump all that information directly into his brain. And he only realized it too late. He explained it in a metaphor of imagining that you never needed to eat again. This would be something that a lot of people would dream of, because you'd be perfectly healthy. You'd never spend any money on food, but you would never be hungry. You would never look forward to cooking something delicious. You could never look forward to eating something delicious. You would never have that drive of looking forward to a satisfying meal with friends. He said it was like that, only about 1,000,000 times worse. And so now he just kind of wanders the earth and tries to apply this natural human instinct, this natural human drive in other ways. According to stories that I've heard, this guy's tech-supported learning technique was shut down by the government. It turns out that the process of school is not really to teach children information. It's really to satisfy a lot of other powerful, wealthy people. And a lot of powerful, wealthy people would lose their power and lose their wealth if school suddenly became much more efficient than it is. It turns out that school is inefficient on purpose so that these powerful, wealthy people can keep their power and keep their wealth at the expense of these poor children who are forcibly being taught in techniques that they know are extremely inefficient. The first massive data transfer technology was the invention of the printing press, but only when it was connected to the Roman alphabet. They had the printing press in China long before the printing press in Europe, but the printing press combined with the massive numbers of Chinese characters wasn't quite as efficient as the connection between the printing press and the much smaller, much more effective and efficient Roman alphabet. Up until that time, they had to copy a book to another book longhand. When I got my first computer decades ago, it had less than 1 gig on the hard drive. Today, if you have less than a terabyte, that's not enough. It will fill up quickly, kind of like your brain. The more you learn, the more you can learn. The more you can learn, the more you'll want to learn. It's like a never-ending cycle of data transfer from the world outside around you into your brain to mix into your natural creative tendencies to make more stuff, to create more data, to put inside other people's brains, to keep this cycle going. That's why we keep inventing new things. That's why you need to keep inventing new things.